York Knicks basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. For everything in home electronics, music, and movies, nobody beats the Wiz. And by the American Express card.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden in New York for the first of 5 meetings this season between the Knicks and the Nets. For the Knicks, the end of a 4-game homestand. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with John Andres, and for Kenny Anderson this evening, one of the jewels of the city's playgrounds. It is a very special night as he makes his professional Madison Square Garden debut.
Very thrilling for those of us who have watched Kenny grow up here in New York, Marv. As you know, his career has been characterized by excellence at every level of play. Of course, the high school situation was well documented here in New York, and at Georgia Tech, where for 2 years he wowed the nation. Now he makes, as you mentioned, his debut here at the Garden before so many people who are supporters. Certainly his opening game against Detroit in that very difficult backcourt the other night wasn't too great, but he did a lot of everything. But he didn't do it at the level he's used to, and I'm sure he's going to do in the NBA. It's thrilling for him. I asked him before the game how he felt, and it's really, I think, his biggest thrill to come out here tonight.
Gerald Wilkins just made a cameo, looking for some added exposure. The Knicks, after losing their first 2 on the road, have now won 3 in a row at home, although they had a difficult time against Charlotte on Saturday night. But what is most impressive about the last 3 concerning the Knicks is the fact that they have spread around the offense.
Yes, the balance is really there. Pat Riley wanted that from the beginning of training camp, and Gerald Wilkins, after a slow start, got into the act. But 4 Knicks have led the team in scoring in the 5 games, including Ewing and Wilkins, of course, and Xavier McDaniel, and the surprising John Starks, who has come on so strong. Gerald got into the act the other night, and he had it all working out here at the Garden. He was shooting, making most of his shots from all over the floor. As usual, most of his effectiveness comes on the move, as Mike Jaminski found out. Also, Johnny Newman got a taste of Gerald on a one-on-one play that was really sparkling. And in a fast break, Gerald surprised everyone, including the opposition, with that slick left-handed delivery off the backboard to finish a beautiful fast break. He was confident throughout, and Marv, his consistency was there throughout the whole game. He played 41 minutes, the same amount as Ewing, and he was excellent throughout the 41.
All right, and Gerald able to bounce back after the slow start. So it's the Knicks and the Nets from the Garden. The pro debut here at Madison Square Garden for Kenny Anderson. We'll have it all after these words. Losing to Detroit by 10 as Kenny Anderson made his professional debut. We're set for the introduction of the lineups. Let's go to the public address for Mike Wilsefsky.
At guard, 6'1" from Oklahoma, number 10, Mookie Blaylock. At forward, 6'8" from Auburn, number 34, Chris Morris. At forward, 6'10" from Syracuse, number 44, Derek Coleman. And at center, 7'1" from Kentucky, number 31, Sam Bowie. The trainer is Fritz Massman, assistant coaches Tom Newell and Rick Carlisle, and the head coach is Bill Fitch. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard, 6'3" from St. John's, number 13, Mark Jackson. At guard, 6'6" from Tennessee, Chattanooga, number 21, Gerald Wilkins. And forward, 6'8" from Wichita State, number 32, Xavier McDaniel. At forward, 6'9" from Virginia, number 34, Charles Oakley. At center, 7 feet from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. The assistant trainer is Jim Wall. The trainer is Mike Zucker. Assistant coaches are Dick Harder, Paul Silas, and Jed Van game. And the head coach for the Knicks, Pat Riley.
And you saw that stat a moment ago. The Nets have lost their last 11 here against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Well, this, of course, will be a Knick crowd, but there'll be quite a bit of rooting interest for the young man who comes by way of Archbishop Malloy High School, Kenny Anderson, and John talked with him earlier.
Kenny, this is a special moment for you. All your years as a spectator here, now you're here as a professional. What do you feel like right now?
I feel excited. You know, my mother and my friends coming out to watch me. On the way over, I was like, damn, I'm playing the guard. I remember when I was a kid, you know, I used to watch, you know, Willis Reed. I saw some clips on him when he was walking off the court. So it's just a traditional building for all New York City ball players, and it's good to be here.
How would you rank this among the thrills you've had in your short basketball life?
This is probably right now the best right now. And me playing with the Nets and signing and playing in the NBA is the highest. This is one of the highest thrills.
And Kenny Anderson later on will make his MSG Pro debut. Madison Square Garden, as it turns out, only 15 blocks from his Manhattan apartment. The officials, Hugh Evans, Ted Bernhardt, and Jim Clark, as the Knicks control the tip. Mark Jackson working against Mookie Blaylock. Xavier McDaniel guarded by Chris Morris. Gerald Wilkins being played by Drazen Petrovic. Patrick Ewing. And rebounded by Sam Bowie.
One of the greatest fears the Knicks have of the Nets, despite their 1-3 record so far, is their offensive rebounding. They're at the top of the NBA in that department at 20 a game. And the Knicks learned that lesson when they met them in the exhibition season, when the Nets won, beat them on the boards, and took advantage of many Knicks turnovers. So there's some fear for the Knicks against the Nets.
And the outside official, Jim Clark, calls it against the Knicks. Loose ball foul on Xavier McDaniel. Now at the Knicks defensive end of the floor, the first time down, Patrick Ewing was matched with Derek Coleman, now guarding Sam Bowie. Coleman being handled by Charles Oakley. Bowie off the double pump was rejected. McDaniel from deep. And Coleman sweeps the rebound. Derek Coleman averaging 20.5 points per game. Averaged 10 rebounds a game last year as a rookie, NBA's Rookie of the Year. Bowie going short. Both clubs having their difficulties here at the start. Morris fires for three. And here's Coleman. So the Nets with a 2-0 lead, and it took a minute and a half before a score.
Coleman got plenty of room on that rebound. That made it easy for him.
McDaniel. And Xavier able to tap it. Dick Jackson. X-Man off the return from Mark Jackson has tied it.
It is by intention that McDaniel is shooting early. The Knicks want him to get in the offense early. It took him too long the other night to get going.
Chris Morris, not one who has been shy about shooting the ball from all angles. Yes, McDaniel looking to get going early, as you say, and the Knicks with a 4-2 lead.
Oh, what a spinning, beautiful move that was.
Here's Morris. And that was blocked. Blaylock nearly picked off. Jackson nearly palmed. And a pushing foul as Coleman went for the steal. Well, the Nets have hit only one of their first 7. The Knicks 2 for 6 from the floor. Coleman called for the foul.
Coleman matching up on Patrick Ewing. Now he's switched over. Ewing got down the court quickly, so Coleman picked him up. Sam Bowie on Ewing now. That's the normal matchup.
Good delivery by Oakley. Yes, and it counts. The foul on Bowie.
Very nice move by Patrick Ewing. Showing mobility, deception, and unpredictability on his move. Many times he does the same thing from the low position, but here he showed Big Sam something new.
Patrick Ewing off to a superb start. Had 25 points Saturday night against Charlotte, but that the first time he did not shoot well. 9 for 22 from the floor, but had a season high of 14 rebounds. It's the Knicks 7 and the Nets 2.
Those 5 assists also by Patrick were quite impressive.
Mookie Blaylock has cut it to a 7-4 Knicks lead. Knicks on the transition, looking to get down court in a hurry. The Nets were able to backtrack. Ewing and Bowie in a battle. McDaniel. And last touch by Bowie. Good play by Ewing. And that caused the deflection off Bowie. So the Knicks get the new 24. Jackson for McDaniel.
So tough to make close passes like that inside, but Mark Jackson's so good at those deliveries.
The Knicks 9 and the Nets 4. Coleman lost it. Jackson able to knock it away. McDaniel tied up and fouled. He had the mismatch going against the 6'1 Mookie Blaylock, and the foul called on Mookie.
Well, the X-Man has certainly gotten the feel of the ball. He has been the Knicks offense thus far, and they continue pouring it into him.
But this time an offensive foul called on the Knicks. 11 with the indication. Charles Oakley called for his first, so the Nets will get it back. The Nets shot only 43% against Detroit on Saturday night. This is not a good shooting ball club. Here's Coleman. Nice touch by Derek Coleman, and the Knicks now lead it by the score of 9-6. You know, John, you look at last year, and that club that won 26 and 56, finishing 5th in the Atlantic. They shot a horrendous 44%. Only Drazen Petrovic was at the 50% mark, and the foul called on Bowie. Their one strength, offensive rebounding, and pretty good shot blocking ball club. That's led the NBA in block shots last year, thanks to the likes of Chris Dudley and Sam Bowie and Derek Coleman.
Chris Dudley, as a matter of fact, finished 5th in the NBA in that department. Quite impressive.
Ewing with a beautiful move. It's the Knicks 11 and the Nets 6.
Patrick's playing like a forward against Sam Bowie.
5 minutes gone by. Morris hit on the reach-in.
That's some explosiveness by Morris. Chris Morris at 6'8", showing fine ability and bursting power. Ewing, however, at the other end with that gorgeous head fake. Could have been a walk, too, on the way into the slam. But that was pretty as he got rid of the defense.
McDaniel called for that foul, and that is his second. Kiki Vandeweghe will make an early entrance. Kiki bothered by the toe injury. Bowie. Coleman. And he lost it. Jackson leads the break. Ewing. Oh. It's all dropping for Patrick Ewing. That was not the shot that he had in mind.
Tough shot.
He was trapped. He had nowhere to go, so he popped it home. And a foul called on the Knicks. Timeout has been taken by the Knicks. We'll be right back.
To a verb start under the offensive boards of New Jersey. However, the Knicks escaped with the quick hands of Mark Jackson, stealing that ball and leading it to Patrick Ewing. Patrick with a very sensitive touch, which was perfect on that play. And Patrick featuring the soft touch as well as the noisy slam dunks here early in the game.
Mark Jackson off to a good start with 4 assists. Petrovic was stopped, and that was last touch by the Knicks right before the timeout. That Knick foul was called on Ewing. His first. Kiki Vandeweghe has checked in, replacing Xavier McDaniel, who departs with 6 points.
You know how tough that is to do what Wilkins just did, block the guy's jump shot.
Ewing and McDaniel have been doing all the shooting here in the early moments. Coleman fires it back out. Shot clock is down to 2. Petrovic. And a loose ball foul is called. Once again, the Knicks are playing excellent team defense. They have contested almost every shot by the Nets, and they've made it very difficult for the Nets. Ewing, however, just collected his second. Pat Riley takes a walk along press row.
Marv, I think it's interesting to note Kiki Vandeweghe's entrance early. He is on the verge, you know, at game 6 now, of being forgotten as the team has gotten into the groove here, so to speak. Kiki's only played 42 minutes in 4 games thus far. But Coach Riley's going to him early. Very interesting. Like, we need you, we depend on you, and let's get going here, rather than letting him sit on the end of the bench while everyone else plays, which has been the pattern lately. Although he says he's feeling 100% tonight.
Ewing has 9. And the Knicks open up a 15-6 lead, 5.5 to go in this first quarter. Coleman stripped. Recovered by Morris. So Chris Morris hitting on the reverse for his first field goal. The Knicks 15 and the Nets 8.
Well, Chris Morris demonstrated once again how comfortable he is no matter where he is. As long as he gets the ball, he is comfortable. And even with his back to the basket, he made it look easy.
Jackson. And here comes Petrovic. Picked up by Jackson. Blaylock with the open shot. Nice move, but Coleman missed the layup. So the Nets are now 4 for 17 from the floor. Here's Wilkins. And he will go to the line to shoot a couple. Now Tim McCormick has checked in, replacing Patrick Ewing, who had picked up his second foul. Patrick leads with 9 points. Good first quarter, 4 for 6 from the field. Gerald Wilkins to the foul line. Gerald with the bounce back game on Saturday night. Season high 28 points at 11 of 17 from the floor.
On that last sequence for the Nets, Patrick Ewing with a tremendous block out, so much so that Big Sam, the 7'1" player for the Nets, went down. But Ewing did what he's supposed to do. He got his body in front of the offensive player and therefore controlled the boards.
It's the Knicks 15 and the Nets 8 with 4.5 remaining in this first quarter. Petrovic and Blaylock in the backcourt. Coleman with Bowie and Morris up front. Coleman trying to post up again. And Jackson gets inside for the rebound. Jackson picked up by Bowie on the switch. The mismatch, McCormick and Blaylock. 3-second violation call.
Mark Jackson couldn't figure that one out. He kept moving with the ball, trying to make his own move. And I would assume tried to get space between he and McCormick, but it just didn't work out.
Coleman for Bowie. And a pushing foul on McCormick. So that will send Sam Bowie to the free throw line. The Knicks also have gone over the foul limit. Sam Bowie, a player who's had a host of injury problems. He has missed 352 games through injury, including the entire 1987-88 season after suffering one of his 3 broken leg injuries. Since Portland drafted him as the number 2 man, 1 spot in front of that fellow who's gone on to play for the Chicago Bulls.
His his airness. We've seen a lot of criticism lately. Now that they've won a championship, we're getting into some dirty laundry with Michael.
Here is Morris, and he cuts it to a three-point Knick lead. Well, a book has come out in Chicago, written by Sam Smith, one of the Chicago beat writers, in which it has been disclosed that Wilkins will get credit. That's a goaltend. One of the points made was at a practice session last year. Will Perdue was hit him in the face by Michael Jordan. And supposedly, according to this book, Michael told his teammates they would not get the ball if they passed to Bill Cartwright in the final 5 minutes of a game. So Blaylock is able to hit.
Let's see if that sells, Marv.
Here's McCormick. Coleman with the lead for Blaylock, and it's broken up. Kicked out by the Nets. Actually, Phil Jackson had said 6 minutes of the ball game. Michael gave the extra minute, so we'll be right back.
Reminder from Budweiser. Big Sam Bowie handling that ball on a turnover, pushes it ahead correctly. Chris Morris, reminiscent to me in many ways of Gerald Wilkins, who loves the open court, is so effective. And Sam picking up his 5th assist of this season. He only had 3 in his first 4 games, but he's already gotten 2 here in the first quarter.
So the Knicks, who led by as many as 9, now have a 17-14 advantage with 2.5 remaining. In this first quarter, the Nets only 6 for 20 from the field. Chris Dudley has come on, replacing Sam Bowie. Shot clock to 5. Wilkins. Coleman handling that peg.
Coleman at 6'10" with the ball, handles it so well.
Had it slapped away, so it will be New Jersey ball with 10 on the shot clock. Here's John Starks for Gerald Wilkins, who leads with a field goal for 2. John Starks coming off 2. Standout performances Saturday night. 22 points on 7 for 11 in 27 minutes of play. Last Thursday had the career high of 30. Vandeweghe able to one-hand the rebound, and here's it from the crowd.
Oddly enough, Starks playing 26 minutes a game is now the Knicks' 2nd leading scorer. At a shade under 18 a game.
Vandeweghe with his first bucket, and the Knicks now lead it 19-14. Petrovic having difficulty getting shots off. That's a three-pointer for Morris. The Knicks 19, the Nets 17, 1:25 to go in this first quarter. Here's Vandeweghe, and he was fouled. Kiki Vandeweghe has that beautiful move. You think back to the Kiki of Denver and Portland, where he was able to switch hands in midair. Fouled by Blaylock, and now Bill Fitz to the bench, and he is inserting Kenny Anderson. So he will make his Madison Square Garden professional debut.
Well, the Archbishop Malloy Stanners are here tonight cheering. I'm sure there's more Malloy people here than there are people from Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets. Thrilling moment for the fans of this young guy.
Kenny Anderson now in the backcourt with Drazen Petrovic, and he's being guarded by Mark Jackson. Just under 1 minute remaining in the first. Coleman.
That's not an assist.
And the Knicks now lead at 21-19. Pressure by the Nets. Anderson defensively going against Jackson. And they isolate Jackson with the spin and throw it away. Oakley with the hustle. Jackson gets to it. Here's Starks. And the foul, loose ball foul, will put the Knicks at the line. It's on Dudley.
Well, Mark Jackson wanted to beat Kenny Anderson to the razzle-dazzle. Didn't quite work out that way. However, the hustle of Oakley paid off, and Jackson on the case with a beautiful recovery of the ball to Starks, who missed the shot. The Knicks struggled and fought their way to Vandeweghe going to the line and making his first.
Kenny Anderson's only other game here at the Garden as a member of Georgia Tech as a freshman. John, I'm sorry to report this, Georgia Tech did beat the Rams of Fordham 83-78. And Anderson had 19 points, 13 assists, and 7 turnovers. Shot clock at 7. Game clock is at 12, and it will be Nick Ball. Petrovic having a very difficult time in this first quarter.
Yes, he has been tonight, but he's played so well in the first 4 games. One of the 2 leading scorers on this team. He shot the ball so well. Ball handling is not his thing.
Starks, and he lost it. So the Nets get it back with 3 seconds remaining in the quarter. Oh, the steal by Starks. He fires. So that's the end of the first with the score. The Knicks 23 and the Nets 19. Is that the Knicks' #1 draft pick? Greg Anthony is getting set to check in. Here he comes. The only time that Greg Anthony faced Kenny Anderson was back in the 1990 NCAA semifinals. Greg Anthony said he doesn't recall much about the game outside of his Running Rebels winning before they went on to defeat Duke to take the national title. Anderson in that game had 16 points, hit 7 of 14 from the floor, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and Anthony with 14 points, hitting 3 of 4 from 3-point range. So this is a terrific rookie matchup. Kenny Anderson of the Nets and Greg Anthony of the Knicks as we get started in the second quarter. Shot clock is at 3. And the foul call. Starks going for the block on Blaylock.
It's very clear that Anderson is out here to distribute the basketball. He is not looking to set himself up. He's looking to get his teammates going and find open people and present leadership in the backcourt. He's not out here to score. I'm sure he'll take them as they come, but it's a nice quality. But that's characterized his play throughout his whole career.
Well, he said before tonight's game that his priority is fitting in with the ball club, not impressing his friends and his relatives. It sounds good, and guys always say that, but sometimes when you hear the crowd rooting you on, something, John, that you cannot relate to, it's tough to stay within that framework.
I never have the crowd behind me. But knowing Kenny Anderson through the years as little as I have, Marv, I've always gotten the impression he's very unselfish.
The basket will count, plus a foul. It's a goaltend, and Anderson called for the foul.
Tough move by Anthony working that baseline. He's got the speed to go by anybody.
Anthony Mason has checked in for the first time, so it's Mason, Oakley, and Vandeweghe up front. Oakley moves to the center position, and Anthony and Starks are at the guards.
That number you just saw is most impressive. Very quietly, Greg Anthony is getting the majority of minutes at point guard. 27 minutes a game now. In fact, he has played the entire fourth quarter of every game thus far.
Terry Mills, who came on at the start of this second quarter, gets the field goal plus the foul. He'll go to the line.
Terry Mills, he has size to bother Kiki Vandeweghe. He's 6'10" tall. That was a nice move. Looked like Derek Coleman on that, the way he used the board so nicely.
Terry Mills, originally drafted by Milwaukee, did not sign, drafted in the first round and traded to Denver, not in shape. Nuggets sent him to the Nets. Pretty move by Starks. So the Knicks lead at 27-24. A minute gone by in the second. So Kenny Anderson now operating at the point guard position. Mookie Blaylock to shooting guard, and he is forcing that shot, but it's Anderson there for the bucket.
Speed, speed, speed. Kenny Anderson was yelling out the plays, too, to start that sequence.
Vandeweghe. Yes. Kiki Vandeweghe on target. He's hit 2 of 3. The Knicks 29, the Nets 26.
Well, he's got to feel so good. First of all, to be out on the court as early in the game as Pat Riley put him in, and then he stayed with him, and Kiki is getting into it.
Very difficult matchup for Vandeweghe against Mills, and the foul call. It's an offensive foul. Illegal pick was set by Terry Mills. I mentioned the Nuggets sent him to the Nets. That was last January in the trade involving Cadillac Anderson. Last year, Mills showed some flashes. An 11 rebound game against the Lakers. Vandeweghe for the reverse.
Well, he said he felt 100% before this game, and he's backing it up now with a stretching move like that.
Knicks lead at 31-26. Blaylock on a quick release. Mookie Blaylock with 8 points. The Knicks by 3. Vandeweghe off the crossover, had nowhere to go. Nice feed from Oakley. Anderson for Blaylock.
So nice. Boy, is he unselfish. Anderson distributing the ball beautifully.
It's the Knicks 31 and the Nets 30 at 1 point early. In the first quarter, the Knicks led by as many as 9. They have led most of the way. Starks lost it. Blaylock putting behind the back. Here's Anderson. And recovered by Blaylock, who finds Dudley. Oh, good play by Mason. That was a surefire layup for Dudley, and Mason came up with the rejection.
Yes, it looked like an easy 2 for the Nets. So hard from behind to stop a big man, but Mason did it.
A hand for Kiki Vandeweghe as he sits down. Xavier McDaniel has returned. Dudley able to keep it alive. Patrick Ewing is also back, so it's Ewing up front with Mason and McDaniel. Anderson cut off by Anthony, then recovers. Coleman lost it. Coleman recovers. It's waved off. 3-second violation. It'll be Nick Ball.
What a battle between Anthony and Anderson. Looked like Anthony had the ball, but Anderson has such ability to recover and recontrol the situation.
8.5 remaining in the second quarter. It's the Knicks 31 and the Nets 30. Starks. McDaniel off the boards, and the Knicks regroup. X-Man for 3. Yes. And the Knicks lead 34-30.
It's amazing, Marv. He is now 4 out of 5 from 3-point range.
Oh, Mason able to control and find Starks. Good run by the Knicks. The crowd reacts as Bill Fitch calls for time.
Telephones called to the bench. This call to the bench is brought to you from the New York Telephone Regional Calling Area. It's bigger than you think. And early numbers show the Knicks getting a very big help from the bench, led by Kiki Vandeweghe.
Yes, Kiki hit 3 of 4 and 4 of 4 from the line. He has 10 points. He's the high point man for the Knicks. Mookie Blaylock leading the Nets with 10 points. Knicks lead by 6 with 7:40 remaining in the first half. Blaylock with the shot clock running down. Mills keeps it alive. Rebound Dudley. Chris Dudley, in his 5th year out of Yale, is a player who has made himself into a Ewing flips one over Dudley, has made himself into a genuine NBA player. And that was not the case when he first entered the league, but it's hard work and a very smart player, as you'd expect out of Yale University, John.
Yes, he's important.
Mills, nice move.
Oh, what a lovely move.
McDaniel getting down in a hurry. And he's fouled by Dudley. Second committed by Chris Dudley. Knicks have a 4-point lead. They have looked very sharp in this first half. Nets got off to the slow start, but they have come on. Xavier McDaniel to the line for the first time. For the Knicks, it is the close of a 4-game homestand. Tomorrow night, they'll play the Indiana Pacers at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. We'll be there starting at 7:30, and that's the beginning of the Knicks' longest road trip of the season. First of a 5-game journey. Indiana, followed by San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and Detroit. Tomorrow night will be seen on MSG2. Check your local listings. Knicks return home on Saturday, November 23rd for the Philadelphia 76ers. 39-34. Knicks. Anderson, air ball, fielded by Mills. Anthony pegs it down, and Anderson intercepts. Oh, what a sequence for the Nets. Kenny Anderson looking like the strong safety, able to field that pass, and then the Nets were able to convert. Daniel now played by Mills. The Knicks lead is 3. Shot clock down to 9. Ewing, Mason on the tip. Starks, and Blaylock able to get to it. So the Knicks lead is 1. McDaniel again going from downtown. Coleman saved it, lost it. Anthony with the steal.
Guard quickness on both teams is sparkling.
McDaniel, yes. 12 points for Xavier McDaniel. The Knicks 41 and the Nets 38 with 5.5 remaining in the first half. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutman, Walt Clyde Frazier from the Garden. Mills with a pretty fade.
Marv, he is more than impressive here tonight. Perry Mills is some surprise to New York Knicks fans who haven't seen him play before.
He's hit 4 of 7. He has 9 points. Starks rejected. Eric Coleman with the block. McDaniel finding Mason. Good recovery. X-Man saw he had the height disadvantage and wanted to get out of the lane, so was able to avoid the 3-second call, and the Knicks lead at 43-40. Coleman up front with Mills and Dudley, and Derek Coleman shows us his range.
That's like a bad shot, you know. It just pumped it up, but he makes it look so beautiful, and he's such a fine shooter.
8 points for Coleman. The Knicks now lead by 1. Anthony using the pick. Anderson stays right with him. Starks. And McDaniel finds Ewing. Oh, what a fake, but he's rejected by Dudley. And we get the whistle.
Ewing's furious.
Foul committed by Coleman, his second.
Nice look by McDaniel to Ewing. Nice fake by Patrick, but then Dudley comes over, slaps that ball away. Ewing felt he was hit on the play. Knicks lucky to recover the ball as they inbound it now.
One bad sign from the Knicks point of view. Earlier they were hitting the jump shots, but it has become a jump shooting exhibition, and you live and die in that situation, and you don't want John Starks and Xavier McDaniel constantly pumping from the outside.
It's funny, when a game starts in a certain manner, it seems to continue many times in that manner, and that's precisely what's happened.
An official timeout. And apparently Hugh Evans, one of the clock adjusted. So they are resetting it. Down to 4:11 remaining in the first half. The Knicks with a 1-point lead. Knicks have the full 24. Ewing. And there was some contact, a little bump and run move between Ewing and Bowie. Patrick Ewing has 13. The Knicks lead 45-42.
Bowie is a little soft when Ewing takes him outside. Patrick's able to razzle-dazzle him with any kind of move he presents.
Mills changed his mind and got it off. Anthony passing off the dribble for Wilkins, who just checked in.
Blaylock at 6'1", couldn't deal with Gerald at 6'4".
Knicks lead by 5. Anderson getting the crowd to react off the spin and the dish off for Bowie.
Did you ever see so much happen from a guard dish off? So simple, so simply done.
The Knicks lead by 3. Kenny Anderson has played very well here in the second quarter. Ewing, yes. Bowie thought that there should have been a charge on Ewing.
Sam has to worry about Ewing's first step. He hasn't figured that out yet. If he can do that, then he won't have to worry about that bump.
Blaylock. Chris Dudley all over the offensive boards, but that time deflected it out.
And boxed out rather well by Mason.
Charles Oakley has been silent to this point. Timeout has been called. We'll be right back. By 5. Foul called on Bowie. That is his 3rd.
Kenny Anderson still out on the floor. Now back to Mark Jackson. Greg Anthony has been going up against Anthony for the last several minutes. Against Anderson, rather.
Wilkins with the step. He got the full penetration. I don't think he expected to get that far. So the Knicks have opened up a 7-point lead. And the Knicks back to Jackson and Wilkins now in the backcourt. Jackson got picked off, and Anderson was able to take advantage. His second field goal, he has 4. Here's Ewing, and he's fouled.
Ewing running the court so well. That's his strength. Mark Jackson reads him as well as anybody, and they were on target with each other.
Chris Morris picking up the foul for the Knicks and the Nets. It's the first of 5 meetings this season. The Knicks won all 5 last year. The last time the Nets beat the Knicks, March 28, 1990. That was at the Meadowlands. Here at Madison Square Garden, the Nets have not won since March 13th, 1987. The Knicks have won the last 11. As you mentioned earlier, the Knicks did lose to the Nets in preseason. Game played up at the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany. Just under 2 minutes remaining first half, and the Knicks lead by 6.
I notice Anderson is quite verbal on the court, yelling out plays, congratulating teammates for nice passes. He's a verbal guy out there. That's part of leadership.
Shooting from 3. Bowie on the rebound. Good fake. A rough shooting game for Bowie. 1 for 6. McDaniel for 3. Yes. The X-Man now has 15. That is his second from downtown.
I mentioned earlier, last year he had none. No 3-point makes in 0 for 8 last year from the field, and he's bombing away quite well this year now.
Petrovic. And we're down to 1 minute remaining in the first half. Charles Oakley is getting to return. Shot clock is at 5. Ewing played by Dudley. And Dudley has been called for his 3rd. 3 apiece on Dudley and Bowie. Don Johnson checking out the action. As Patrick Ewing goes to the line. The Knicks in a 12-4 run. They'll lead it by 9. I know you and Don will be getting together following tonight's game.
I know. I happen to know Mark. Don's been in New York working on his tennis game lately quite often.
Well, as I said, the two of you will be getting together and show your work to serve.
I'd love to if I have some time.
Knicks have extended to their biggest lead of the night. Tremendous first half for Patrick Ewing. He has 18 points, and the Knicks lead by 11. 40 seconds remaining in the half. Jackson picked off. Mason on the switch guarding Anderson, then Jackson able to recover. Morris. 3 on the 24. Anderson just did beat the 24-second buzzer. And the Knicks now lead 57-48. And Pat Riley says hold for one. We are down to 10 seconds in the half.
Mark Jackson wants to power over Anderson.
Ewing. A buzzer basket by Patrick Ewing. A hot shooting first half for the New York Knicks. And they've been hitting from the outside. The Knicks 59 and the Nets 48. We mentioned earlier that the Nets are very effective off the offensive backboard, and that was the case in the first half. And the assist department, spearheaded by Mark Jackson, 7 of the 19 Knick assists. Now look at our Toyota matchup of the night, and we are focusing on Charles Oakley and Derek Coleman. Charles, in 15 minutes of play, a goose egg. In all fairness, he was not matched throughout the half against Derek Coleman, because when Ewing sat down after picking up a second foul, Charles, as has been the case this season under Pat Riley, and has worked well, has been going in as the backup center.
That's amazing for 15 minutes on the court that Charles would not have any rebounds. That probably has never happened, Marv, and I say it will never happen again in his career.
To you. All right, the third quarter is underway. Petrovic and Blaylock open up at the guard. Bowie, Coleman, and Morris up front. The Knicks with their biggest lead of the game. They lead by 11. They double up on Coleman, who shoots over the double team. And the Knicks with Jackson and Wilkins in the backcourt. Ewing with McDaniel and Oakley up front. Backdoor pass for Ewing. Oakley from Jackson. McDaniel stopped and then goes to the left hand.
Beautifully done.
It's the Knicks 61, the Nets 48. Xavier McDaniel has 17. Patrick Ewing, the high point man, with 20. The Nets led by Mookie Blaylock. Blaylock has 12.
This team takes bad shots. Morris on a bad one. It's a good foul by Mark Jackson. It's not going to hurt Coleman. Coleman's so big, and he stopped him from scoring.
Yes, their shot selection is horrendous.
But you know, the worst part about it is, Marv, I think even the shot that Coleman took a moment ago, when he couldn't find anyone open, instead of passing it again and letting the offense start again, he just pumped it up. I think when your leading scorer takes bad shots, that just sets a bad tone for the team. Because Morris then feels, well, if he does it, I can do it.
Derek Coleman, the Nets' #1 draft pick, going on to Rookie of the Year honors last season. He's had severe back problems, played despite the back injury on Saturday night against Detroit, and hit for 25 points and pulled down 12 rebounds.
He picked it up in their last exhibition game, and it's, I believe, defined as a herniated disc, but as long as it doesn't touch a nerve, according to Bill Fitch, who's now become a doctor, their coach, having to deal with it. Many questions the media ask him. Apparently, as long as it doesn't squeeze a nerve, he can live with it. But what a problem that could be for this team, for the big guy to have such a potentially severe problem.
Foul was called on Bowie. That's 4 on Bowie. Dudley has 3. And Charles Oakley looking for his first points of the night.
Marv, on the subject of Coleman's back, there was a quote in today's news. He said, from Coleman, he said, when you play with pain, it makes you concentrate more on what you're doing and blocking the pain out. Now, that's a positive approach to pain, if I ever heard it. And a lot of credit goes to Coleman for figuring that he can operate even with some pain.
The Knicks now lead it by 14. Petrovic played very tightly by Wilkins. He has not been allowed to operate to this point. Petrovic 0 for 3 for the night. Knicks have done a terrific job handcuffing him. Blaylock and Oakley on the rebound and was hit. Foul on Blaylock. The Knicks come off the victory over Charlotte on Saturday night. Knicks taking over down the stretch in the final minutes. Pat Riley has said the Knicks were not ready to play at the start on Saturday night, and they did escape with the win, trailing going into those final minutes against a struggling Charlotte Hornet team. And it's New Jersey ball.
Funny watching McDaniel now go to the shot as readily as he does. After the first couple of games when he was trying to integrate himself into the team, he would never take a shot like that, but now he is loose.
The Knicks during preseason wanted him to shoot more. He seemed to be so unselfish to the point that he was passing up many good shot opportunities. Bowie, who has not shot well tonight, now 2 for 7. He has 6 points. The Knicks lead 63-51. Good play by Morris. Blaylock. That's not able to cash in on the fast break.
Blaylock having a couple of roles tonight. That is, he is playing the 1 and the 2, Marv. He's point guard now, but when Kenny Anderson comes in, he moves over to the shooting guard, so he's got to adjust his game throughout this game.
McDaniel, yes. Good setup. He now has 19. The Knicks lead at 65-51.
Boy, he must be happy after his frustrating several months with the Phoenix Suns when he was kind of the 4th man they went to on the offense, and slowly he's challenging Patrick Ewing to be the first target down court.
Nice touch shown by Coleman. He has 11. The Knicks by 12. 8.5 remaining third quarter. Nice move by Jackson. Went to the scoop. Blaylock. The Knicks now lead at 65-55. Mookie Blaylock, high point man for the Nets with 14. Wilkins. And the foul on the Knicks. It's an offensive foul on Oakley. Well, it's a loose ball foul on Charles, and the ball goes back to the Nets.
Charles very physical around the basket at all times, and he was trying to clear that middle out for Gerald.
Blaylock and Petrovic at the guards. Morris with Bowie and Anderson up front. Morris with 9 points, and the Nets are chipping away. The Knicks at one stretch led by 14, and it's down to an 8-point margin. Here's Wilkins. Morris backing his way. Bowie for 3.
Crazy shot.
But it will be net ball. Bowie launching with much time remaining on the 24. McDaniel over Blaylock. And a loose ball foul called. Knicks take the timeout. The foul was called on Bowie. That is his 5th. And they meddled with the roster too much. A guaranteed 5-year, $14.5 million contract put the Nets over the salary cap. 8-point Knick lead. Here's Ewing. And last touch by the Nets. So general manager Willis Reed was told by management to waive backup center Dave Feidel and Judd Bushler to make room. Bushler, incidentally, has been picked up by the San Antonio Spurs. And Fitch was just upset about the whole system that led to the waiving of Bushler and Feidel. Nice play. Charles Oakley with his first field goal. The Knicks now lead it by 10.
Well, Marv, he specifically said, you start picking my team for me and making cuts, and you can tell them, the people who are being waived. He said, it's the first time in 21 years of coaching that I didn't make the cuts. You can't win if you can't have control over your own team. And Willis Reed, of course, did not make those decisions either. And this Bill Fitch, as you can see right now, is very expressive. And he didn't hold back his feelings. And it was unusual because any coach would say, well, that's the quickest way to get fired. But Bill Fitch has been around. He then went in following the outburst and had his piece supposedly with the ownership. But I think what he wanted to do was to tell his team that he was going to stand up for them, even at the cost of his own job, and he certainly did.
Well, Dudley with his second bucket. He's come on for Bowie. The rejection emphatically by Coleman. Shot clock is at 10. Sam Bowie with 5 fouls, so he has sat down. Nice play. McDaniel with the feed. Oakley blew the layup. Kept alive by Wilkins. X-Man wide open. Yes. He has 21, and the Knicks with 5.5 remaining in this third quarter lead it by 10.
Or if you get the feeling after a play like that, and you see what Charles did with the ball inside, how he threw it off the backboard, you're starting to get the feeling that the Knicks are really a different team with McDaniel. I mean, there is scoring punch on the floor now from the forward position, as opposed to occasional scoring punch.
And the Knicks also have the luxury in the first half of Kiki Vandeweghe coming off the bench, and he did well. He hit 3 of 4 in a 10-minute stint. Petrovic for 3. That's one of the rare times he's had some space to get the shot off. And for Petrovic, it is only his first field goal. Knicks lead 69-62. Wilkins. And Dudley on the rebound. Oh, what a play by McDaniel. Wilkins. Yes. So the steal, the strip by Xavier McDaniel leading to the bucket. That's a 4-point turnaround.
2 the Nets didn't get, and 2 the Knicks did get. And 2 and 2 are 4, Marv, every time.
Thank you for explaining that. It's a 3-on-2. Jackson bottled up, and Dudley gets it down. Here's a 2-on-1. Ewing the man back, and he let Petrovic go.
That's unusual. You would think Patrick would have put his hands up anyway.
Knicks lead at 71-64. Yes, Ewing with only 2 personal fouls, but sometimes the fake can work. McDaniel on fire. I'm assuming that Ewing thought perhaps Petrovic would throw it up a little bit too hard, expecting the block.
Perhaps if the hands were up, that might have been the case.
Yes. 9-point lead for the Knicks. Coleman with the swing and move. Getting terrific position.
And then sliding it off his right hand.
Oakley. And the crowd reacts as he began the shot. Started to pump it. And heard the moan. Very difficult situation to try and hit a jump shot.
Meanwhile, Charles comes off a game in which he shot 7 out of 8 from the field. I don't think people realize what his numbers are through 5 games. Charles Oakley shooting 75% from the field coming in tonight.
Knicks lead it by 7. Here's Jackson. Kenny Anderson back on the floor. Kenny Anderson in the first half played 13 minutes, hit 3 of 6, and had 3 assists. Played well. Anderson now guarded by Starks, who just replaced Wilkins. Jackson with the steal. Has the numbers. 4 on 3. Goes all the way. Mark Jackson with a beautiful end-to-end dash. And that is his first field goal. But the numbers do not reflect the way he's played. He's had a good one. Knicks lead 75-66. Mills, who played well in the first half. Bad shot. And back comes Jackson. 3 on 2. Starks for McDaniel. Oh, well done. Beautiful ball movement by the Knicks, who lead at 77-66, and a 20-second timeout has been called by the Nets.
Well, the Knicks are making much better decisions with the basketball. That's what's in evidence here to onlookers. Mark Jackson 3 on 2, sizing it up. Starks with a soft pass to McDaniel, and what a soft touch he continues with.
Petrovic working hard and gets it off. Mills missed the rebound, so did Dudley, so did Mills. And a foul call. Anthony Mason sliding inside, and he was held. It's now a Knick front line of Ewing with Mason and McDaniel. Backcourt of Jackson and Starks.
The Knicks still not boxing out very well against a team that has proven how strong they are on the offensive boards. But what the Knicks are doing positively is competing extremely well for that basketball.
Mills called for that foul, a second. Alley-oop. Starks finding Ewing. It is all working for the Knicks here in the third quarter. The Nets with an early rally to cut into the lead, and now the Knicks lead by 13. Petrovic for 3 again. So Drazen Petrovic with 2 field goals, both from downtown, and the Knicks lead by 10.
I asked Bill Fitch before the game what he wants out of Petrovic, what he has to get better at, and he said he's just got to do more things on the court, meaning other than shoot. Everyone knows how well he can shoot, but he's got to pass the ball, defend, do all the other things that make a complete player. John Starks to Ewing on a beautiful lead pass, and that lit things up around here.
Patrick Ewing comes hobbling back to the bench. Charles Oakley checks in. Ewing sits down with 22, so Oakley now at the center position. Starks and tipped home. So Oakley with his second field goal, and he has certainly picked it up in this third quarter. Just under 1 minute remaining in the quarter. Knicks lead 81-69. Shot clock is at 4. Here's Coleman. Nice lean-in move by Derek Coleman. He has 15, and it will be Nets ball.
Mason got caught by Coleman on that play, and then he so anxiously tried to inbound the ball that he threw it away. Also while stepping in bounds before the ball got there, which is an infraction.
Again, the matchup is Anderson with Jackson. Kenny Anderson, the rookie out of Georgia Tech. That's top draft pick, second pick overall. Petrovic hit by Starks. Well, Petrovic will shoot a couple. Drazen Petrovic out of Yugoslavia, originally a third-round draft choice of Portland back in '86. He is considered as one of the better stand-still shooters in the league. He is a streak shooter. The Knicks have not allowed him to get off his shots tonight. The only 2 field goals, both from downtown. That's been it.
He comes off a good one against Detroit Saturday, 8 out of 15, 22 points. And he also had a very strong game against the 76ers in a 2-point loss. 24 points, 11 out of 16. He has shot the ball well so far, but tonight, by far, is his worst game.
John, a correction of the statement you made. Blaylock, or rather, Petrovic actually has 3 field goals. Oh, I said that. Sorry. The other was that drive past Ewing, where Ewing did not challenge, plus the 2 from downtown. Final seconds of the third. Here's Starks, and he was fouled with 5 and 9/10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Mills collecting his third, and John Starks will go to the line for the first time. He has hit 15 straight from the foul line. Saturday night against the Hornets, 8 for 8 from the line.
Starks has certainly earned this playing time that he's getting now. He's not shooting the ball as well as he did last game, but he is proving that he can be valuable even when he's not scoring. His defense is very tenacious, and his passing has been pretty good also tonight.
Anderson racing the clock. Anderson firing, and it's tipped home. Terry Mills with the tip. So after 3 here at the Garden, it's the Knicks 83, the Nets 75.
Because friends know when to say when. Reminder from Budweiser. Speaking of good times, Knicks City Dance is providing good times for the onlookers rather.
For the what?
Onlookers. Do you think I said something else?
No. We move on to the fourth quarter. The Knicks 83 and the Nets 75. At one point, the Knicks led by as many as 14. Knicks staying with John Starks, Mark Jackson in the backcourt, Anthony Mason up front with Charles Oakley and Xavier McDaniel. Kenny Anderson again guarding Mark Jackson. Mason getting in deep, but rejected by Dudley. And Anderson on the run.
Mason did a nice job cutting off Anderson along with Mark Jackson, not allowing Anderson to go one-on-one.
Dudley drew the foul, and for the first time tonight, Mason called on the foul. We check out the free throw shooting slants of Chris Dudley, who this season, John, 7 for 14 from the line. Last year got up to 53%, although his career high 56% while with Cleveland in 87-88. And crowd, they're getting on Dudley. Has a little hesitation and is able to hit on his first.
Well, Marv, the thing that has haunted Dudley early in this particular season, last Wednesday in a 2-point loss to Philadelphia in Philadelphia, Chris missed 2 foul shots with less than a second to go on the clock. Could have tied the game. That one hurt.
Well, Chris right on target. He has hit 2 for 2 from the line, and he's cut that Knick lead down to 6 points.
Once again, Pat Riley reverting to the apparently exclusive use of Greg Anthony in the fourth quarter over Mark Jackson.
McDaniel, oh, what a sequence. 2 behind the back passes to set it up. It's the Knicks 85 and the Nets 77. And it's Anthony guarding Anderson. Starks on Petrovic. Starks got picked off and then able to recover. Shot clock is at 5. Illegal defense called for the first time tonight.
Marv, I think it was interesting, Pat Riley's remarks about the use of Anthony and others, particularly in this situation in the backcourt in the fourth quarter of games. Riley said, I'm looking for defensive intensity down the stretch. Only Patrick Ewing has convinced me that he should be out there for offensive reasons. No one else is playing that great. But he wants defense, and that's why Anthony has been getting the call in every game this season in the fourth quarter. Now, the other night it was Muggsy Bogues, a little guy. Anthony is much better equipped to stay with him. Same thing now with Anderson. Anthony has the speed, certainly more than Mark does, although Mark has had a very fine game.
Ewing and Vandeweghe back in, replacing McDaniel And Oakley, Xavier McDaniel leads with 27. He's the high man. Dudley. The Knicks lead by 8 with a minute 20 gone by in the fourth. Vandeweghe, that's 2-point range, and able to get back to it. Anthony tripped up by Petrovic. Mark Jackson sitting down, only 1 field goal, but he's run the club well. 7 assists in the first half. And the rookie Greg Anthony has come out. A holding foul. No, apparently, wait a moment. Illegal inbounds called on the Knicks. Illegal inbounds. Pat Riley questioning the call. Apparently illegal pick on the inbounds called on Starks. All right. There's Coleman, and he was hit by Mason. Anthony Mason called for his second.
Mason really respecting Coleman's outside shooting, and he was right on him, and then stayed with him till the end of that move. But how about Coleman's ability to deal with Mason's size and speed? This guy is so gifted.
Eric Coleman is 1 for 2 from the foul line. He has 15 points. Eric Coleman last year a 73% free throw shooter. The Knicks lead is now 6. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. Anthony and Starks at the guards. Ewing with Vandeweghe and Mason up front. Vandeweghe, yes.
Boy, you've got to guard Vandeweghe when he gets the touch before he gets the ball, not after. Got to try and keep the ball away from him. The Nets aren't doing that.
12 points for Kiki Vandeweghe. Anderson. Three-pointer for Kenny Anderson. And he has 9. He's cut the Knicks lead down to 5. Vandeweghe gives it up. Here's Ewing. Patrick Ewing backed up on Chris Dudley and connected. So the Knicks lead 89-82.
It would be easy to say Patrick was out of his shooting range. However, one would be wrong because he swished it.
Coleman working hard. Loose ball foul. And it's on Dudley. So Dudley picks up his 4th. Bowie is sitting down with 5. The net center position has been in foul difficulty right throughout.
Kenny Anderson, it would appear, also is going to be here for the rest of the game, and it seems good things are happening for the Nets now in his 2nd NBA game when he's on the floor. Could be a very interesting finale.
Vandeweghe drawing the foul. So Kiki will go to the line. Chris Morris and Mookie Blaylock getting set to return. Petrovic sitting down. Mills called for the foul, his 4th. There's Morris in his 4th year out of Auburn. Vandeweghe 4 out of 4 from the foul line.
Petrovic has been playing 36 minutes a game on the average. I get the feeling tonight that he's been kind of slid over to second-class status in the backcourt. This has not been a solid game for him. Blaylock and Anderson seem to be the chosen duo for Bill Fitch against the Knicks tonight.
It's the Knicks 90 and the Nets 82. 8.5 to go in the fourth. Marv Albert with John Andrews, Al Troutwell, Walt Clyde Frazier from Madison Square Garden in New York. End of the 4-game homestand for the Knicks. Blaylock stopped by Starks. Starks has a 3-on-1. Oh, what a play. The quickness of Anderson taking it out of the hands of Mason. Here's Anderson for three, way off, a little over anxious. That's the first sign we've seen, and he hears it from the crowd. Little hometown Raz.
Well, he was moving so fast, and he decided to take the very long jump shot. Usually you got to be set before you take the long one.
Nothing personal, though, from the crowd point of view. Mason. And again, Ewing comes away hobbling. He's been favoring the leg throughout the second half, but has been able to hang in.
Very important move by Mason. Very big basket for him.
Dudley fouled by Ewing. That's his third. The Knicks with their third team foul to match the Nets total. Sam Bowie returns. Derek Coleman will get a rest.
Ewing on the box out, getting good position. Dudley gets the ball, presents it to Ewing. Hugh Evans with the X-ray eyes picking out a foul.
Shot clock at 8. Dudley working very hard. And Ewing snatches the rebound and fires one. A dangerous handle by Anthony. Made the good play in out-leaping Anderson. Look out. Anthony stepped out. Couldn't save it. So the Nets take over, and a timeout has been called. A 20-second timeout taken by the New Jersey Nets with 7:01 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks lead the Nets by the score of 92-82. A reminder to the desk for 15 minutes of sports news and highlights with half-hour editions every weekend right here on the MSG Network. Bob Page will be on hand. We'll have the complete NBA update, highlights of the Devils and the Flyers. Well, Melanie is on hand along with Don.
Husband and wife team here enjoying the game in the first row. Guess they bought those seats real early. They're tough to get.
They must know someone.
Yeah, they must.
Anthony stopping Anderson. Anderson, spectacular move. He beat Ewing along the baseline, and the Knicks now lead 92-84. 11 points for Kenny Anderson. Six and a half remaining in the fourth. Starks for three. Yes.
See, when you're set like Starks was, his feet were ready, and he didn't have any pressure. He got the ball. He was ready to shoot that ball, that long shot when he got it. He leads the team now in three-point makes.
And the Knicks have hit 3 out of 5 from downtown. Knicks lead 95-84. Starks called for the push. And Pat Riley calling for the timeout. 6:02 to go in the fourth.
There's Bill Fitch, the New Jersey Nets coach, behind Dick Motta. And number 6 is Pat Riley. Bill Fitch, he's been around a while. However, if you want to talk about winning percentage, then Pat Riley jumps to the top.
Fitch ranks 4th in all-time coaching wins. Only Red Auerbach, Jack Ramsey, Dick Motta have more. The Knicks by 11. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. Anderson. Well done again by Kenny Anderson. Not bad when you consider this is a rookie who did not have any preseason. Only his second game as a professional, and has stepped right in.
That was some move, too, because the defense, Anthony was right with him, and he protected the ball perfectly.
Ewing again from deep. Now you can say that is not a good shot. little second guess, but he does have the long-range touch. But that's not where you want Pat Ewing taking his jump shots. Knicks lead 95-86. Dudley able to rescue. Anderson. And Morris able to put it home. Once again, a dribbling exhibition put on by Kenny Anderson. One NBA scout calls him the best dribbler in basketball history. That takes in a lot of ground. That starts with the likes of Bob Cousy and going back a bit, Slater Martin.
That scout must have gone to a lot of Georgia Tech games. That's a mouthful.
Here's Morris. Starks to get back and block it. Terrific recovery by John Starks.
We're going to look at it now. Starks with a tremendous defensive play without committing a foul.
Charles Oakley is back. Ewing got a piece of it. It will be net ball with 18 on the 24. 4:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks lead by 7. They've led by as many as 14. They have led virtually all the way. And Bill Fitch, as you suggested, staying with the rookie Anderson. Beautiful feed, but Bowie not able to hit. And a foul against the Knicks. McDaniel picks up his third. Knicks are over the foul limit. Sam Bowie to the line. He is 2 for 2 from the line. Sam has not shot well tonight from the field, only 2 for 10. The Knick lead is 6. Sam Bowie came to the Nets in the Buck Williams trade. This is 3rd season with the New Jersey Nets. And he's cut into that Knick lead. It is down to 5. Here's some pressure by the Nets. They doubled up on McDaniel and now drop back. Approaching 4 minutes remaining in the fourth. Ewing feeling around for Dudley. Rebounded by Morris, and a foul called on Oakley.
There are bad signs here for the Knicks. Their momentum has stopped, and the Nets are coming on in their way. They're not playing spectacularly, but the Nets are competing very well, causing problems around the boards. And the Knicks have got to dig in once again.
And the Knicks also putting themselves in trouble and going over the foul limit early. Mark Jackson now getting set for a rare entrance onto the floor in the fourth quarter.
Actually, his only time has been tonight. He had 24 seconds or so, according to our statistician Al Troutwig, who told me before that Mark had 24 seconds in the fourth quarter tonight for the first time, and Anthony spelled him.
The Knicks now lead at 95-91. Jackson and Starks now in the backcourt. McDaniel, Oakley, and Ewing up front. The Knick offense has stopped here the last couple of minutes. McDaniel, Ewing on the rebound. Anderson with the steal. What a play by Kenny Anderson.
And he hangs in the air until he picks out the right man to give it to. Knicks are not getting good shots now. They're in a bad sequence offensively.
And Dudley held by McDaniel. That's 4 on X-Man. I didn't think the Knicks had good shots in the first half. I think they just happened to hit their shots. And they shot 57%. That can be encouraging. And now they're not hitting the jumper. 3:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. And this is the man the Knicks prefer to see at the free throw line. He hit a couple earlier.
Well, the key matchup now is Jackson and Anderson. Anderson is the spectacular playmaker for this team. That's the role he'll fit into as time goes on. And it might just start tonight. Mark Jackson's got to stay with him.
Someone stepped in too quickly, and Dudley will get another. Look to be Ewing anticipating.
It's a rare call, though.
So Dudley gets the extra free throw. Vying for the hat trick. The Knicks lead is 4. 3.5 remaining in the fourth. Ewing. Starks able to save it. Starks on the drive. Oakley and a foul. And Dudley called for his fifth.
Well, great pursuit by Starks here. What speed he has. And then a deceptively quick move to the basket. Lots of pressure by the Knicks big men on the boards. You know what we haven't seen in, it seems, a half, Marv, is a good pass by the Knicks. They're going one-on-one. They're going their own way on offense.
Oakley is now 2 for 3 from the line. So Dudley not able to hit a moment ago at the other end. And the Knicks are only 14 for 21 from the foul line. The Nets have shot 15 of 19. Knicks lead 96-91. Bill Fitch taking a timeout with 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the fourth. Patrick Ewing with another Knicks fast break bucket. With a new book out, Wilt Chamberlain will be guesting with Al right here on the MSG Network, the best in the game. Timeout situation. Nets have 3. The Knicks have 3 and a 20. And the Knicks shooting has certainly dropped down in the second half. Well, the Nets have been consistent, staying at 42% shot. As you mentioned, though, they have not been burning it up, but they have chipped away, and they have that 14-point Knicks lead down to 5.
After that close game against Charlotte the other night, Pat Riley had a message for his team. He said, I want this team to develop an attitude that whatever is going wrong, it's not going to happen at home. Not being able to finish games against opponents at home, close games before the home fans, according to Pat Riley, is unconscionable. This team was 21-20 last year at home, and they want to protect this home situation.
Coleman able to rebound and lost it. Jackson with the steal. Crowd of 14,556 here at the Garden. Well, this season the Knicks have opened up 3-0 at home, but 0-2 on the road. Shot clock at 5. Jackson forced, and Anderson starts back.
He's dying to outdo Anderson.
Beautifully set up. Anderson from Morris, and the Nets now within 3 as we come up on 2 minutes to go in the fourth.
Mark's biggest job right now is to check his ego.
McDaniel posting, and let's see, last touch by Morris. So the Knicks will have 10 seconds on the 24. Good run by the Nets. Starks, not a good shot. A lot of time on the 24, and once again a long jump shot attempted.
They've lost the flow between themselves. They're not exchanging the ball 4 or 5, maybe 6 times before the shot goes up.
Can of defense from the crowd. The rookie Ken Anderson running the ball club. Shot clock at 10. Nets down by 3. Anderson with the step. Rejected by Ewing.
That's what Kenny Anderson didn't taste at Georgia Tech. That kind of speed by big people like Ewing.
Minute 20 remaining in the fourth. Knicks with the ball and a 3-point lead. McDaniel.
Ewing tapped it away from Oakley, it seemed.
Here's Morris throwing it back. Open shot for Blaylock. And we are down to 1 minute Remaining in the fourth quarter. Look at that stat. 0 for the last 10. And a timeout called by Pat Riley. 54 and 6/10 seconds remain in the fourth quarter.
With the Bulls, Lambeer takes Horace Grant's charge nicely, then took him down on a cheap shot tackle, and the fun begins. No one ejected. Bulls winning big in the third.
Well, the last time we saw those two ball clubs, the Detroit Pistons walked off the floor with about a half minute remaining in the playoff game as they were eliminated by the Chicago Bulls. So they're at it again.
Good feeling has continued,
yes.
Right through the summer.
Knicks lead by 3. Shot clock is down to 10. Ewing going at Bowie. They are now 0 for the last 11. Anderson with Starks back. Gives it up. And once again, the Knicks come up with a terrific defensive play. John Starks with the block.
Kenny Anderson signaling to his fans that Blaylock got hit on the arm. Nice dish off by Anderson. Starks with the big play.
That's 3 rejections by Starks. Nets get the new 24. We're down to 35 seconds remaining in the fourth. The Knicks lead by 3. Shot clock at 10. Morris for 3. Oh, what a shot. However, rebounded by Coleman. Here's Anderson. Gets it over Ewing. He's cut it to 1 with 18 seconds remaining. Kenny Anderson with 15 points. Both clubs over the foul limit. And the whistle on Blaylock with 9 and 5/10 seconds remaining. John Starks to the line. He is 2 for 2 from the foul line and has hit his last 17 free throws.
Both teams in the penalty now. The Nets had to foul. The time clock, game clock, and the shot clock are identical.
The Knicks free throw shooting continues to be a problem. And the Knicks have missed their last 11 field goal attempts. Clinging now to a 2-point lead. Timeout called by the Nets. When we return, they'll have the ball down by 2. Happens here this evening. You can entitle this "A Star is Born." Kenny Anderson has been phenomenal in only his second NBA game.
Realize that was Patrick Ewing coming at him, and he still succeeded by coming up short and making that shot. Look what he had to shoot over. And it didn't interrupt his decision or his concentration whatsoever. The fact that Patrick Ewing was right there. That's what the great ones can do. They can adjust to situations right on the spot.
The Nets, with a 13-5 run, have cut that Knick lead, which once was 92-82, down to a 2-point lead on the Knicks with only 37 points in the second half after 59 in the first half. And Patrick Ewing very quiet in the second half. You see Greg Anthony has checked in. Ewing had 20 in the first half, only 4 in the second half on 2 out of 8 from the field. Hugh Evans will hand the ball to Derek Coleman. Knicks lead by 2. Anderson guarded by Anthony. Both clubs over the foul limit. One-on-one move by Anderson, and he's fouled. Kenny Anderson to the line with 2 and 7/10 seconds remaining.
Do we call this a Hollywood ending? Kenny Anderson will get his body in the way and demand to be fouled. That's another thing that shorter people can do who have great skills.
Kenny Anderson, 83% free throw shooter. Last year at Georgia Tech, shot a bit there. I thought on the quick side, just looking to get it up, and that might have hurt him. Timeout called. We'll be right back. Kenny Anderson will go to the line to shoot his second free throw. Tomorrow night, the Knicks will be at Market Square in Indianapolis to open up a 5-game road trip, their longest road trip of the season. They face Chuck Person Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers, and we'll be there starting 7:30 on MSG2. That's tomorrow night. Pat Riley would love to come out of here with a victory. Things going so well in the first half, but it's been a failure to execute by both clubs here down the stretch. The Knicks 0 for the last 11 from the field. The Nets have now missed the last 3 free throws, 1 for the last 5. John, does Kenny Anderson miss this one on purpose?
I would think he has to.
Yes. Good thinking on your part.
Why isn't Samboy in there to get the rebound, though?
Well, there it is. And it's rebounded by McDaniel.
A 7-foot man, and he's out at the top of the circle.
Foul called. Foul on the Nets. John Blaylock with 1 5/10 seconds remaining.
Anderson shoots it appropriately short. Sure would have been nice to have a 7-foot man in there, but the Nets, for some reason, had the buoy out high.
And Xavier McDaniel to the foul line. He's 1 for 2 from the line.
Mark the date down, December 17th.
Yes.
That's when the Nets return here. And Xavier getting right into the theme of things, being one of the guys.
Nick foul shooting now 16 to 25. So the Knicks now lead by 3, and the Nets calling for their final timeout. So with 1 5/10 seconds remaining when we come back, they will set up for a 3-point fling.
In-school rally that will be held at the end of the season to reward selected 9th grade students for improved attendance and good grades. Foot Locker reminds you to stay in school. It's your best move.
And Mark Jackson with 9 assists. 1 5/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Drazen Petrovic, who can hit the 3, has checked back in, has not played in some time. The Nets have used all their timeouts, so they must get the good pass for the setup for a 3-pointer. Nets 4 out of 9 from downtown. Eric Coleman will throw it in. Anderson on the floor with Blaylock, Bowie, Petrovic, and Coleman.
They'll try and get Petrovic off a pick, no question about that.
And the Knicks do not want to foul. Not looking to set up a possible 4-point play. No timeouts remaining. Coleman must get it in. But the foul is called with 3/10 of a second remaining. Gerald Wilkins commits the foul. That is not what Pat Riley had in mind. Gerald contesting the inbounds, and Petrovic checking with Bill Fitch as to how to play it.
The best foul shooter on this team is going to the line now.
Well, I would think with 3/10 of a second, John, must hit the first and miss the second and then crash the boards. So here's Petrovic, who's 2 for 2 from the line.
Samboy in there now.
And now Chris Morris comes on, so it is a 2-point Knick lead. Now the idea is to miss to set up a putback.
Boxing out and lively hands.
There it is, and Ewing rebounds, and it's all over, and the Knicks escape with a victory. The Knicks very fortunate to come away with this one as they went 0 for the final minutes. Not able to hit on their last 11 field goal attempts. But the Knicks make it 4 out of 4 at home. They're now 4-2 as the Nets drop to a record of 1 up and 4 down after winning their opener in Charlotte. They have lost the last 4. The Evian Natural Springwater play of the game is Xavier McDaniel. An outstanding night, 12 for 21 for his 28 points. He also collared 10 rebounds. So Xavier McDaniel, our player of the game. Also an outstanding all-around effort by Nets rookie Kenny Anderson. We'll have much more on that when we come back.
At Madison Square Garden, the New York Knicks surviving tonight, beating the New Jersey Nets by the score of 98-96. Some amazing, startling numbers from the fourth quarter. Let's get started with who scored how many, with the leading scorers brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers, Advantage Jeep and Eagle. Xavier McDaniel led the way for the Knicks for the second time on the homestand, scoring 28 points, tying his Knick high. Patrick Ewing with 24 points, 10 of 20 from the floor, 11 rebounds. Kiki Vandeweghe off the bench provided 13 points worth of a spark. John Starks, 10 points. Gerald Wilkins had 8. Let's go to the New Jersey Nets now and start things off with Derek Coleman, who had 17. Kenny Anderson in his NBA debut at Madison Square Garden had 14 points, shooting 7 of 15 from the floor. Missed a key free throw. Mookie Blaylock had 14, and Chris Morris also had 14. Well, no doubt the Knicks needed some offensive spark down the stretch, missing their last 11 shots from the floor, but things were much better earlier when their passing game was working and Xavier McDaniel's jump shot was functioning well. He had 28 points tonight, and he joins us now. Xavier, first thing I want to ask you is, what's the ice bag on the right knee?
Well, after 2 knee surgeries, get a little fluid on my knee after every practice and every game, so I ice it down to reduce the swelling.
This homestand started so easily. I mean, 28-point victories back-to-back, then the tight game against Charlotte, and now a very tight game. A game looked as though you were going to cruise to a victory.
Well, sometimes you can get too good about yourselves when you really hadn't accomplished a whole lot. And tonight was an example where we kept big leads and we seemed to blow them. But we held on to it. We made some tough defensive plays, and our offense was just ragging in the fourth quarter. And something that, when you work hard for 2 or 3 days and then you got a game, you want to try to look good. And tonight we didn't.
As an outside observer, I watch this game and I see the offensive flow, the passing wasn't there, all the elements that had been so obvious in the first 2 games. What happens other than fatigue to allow that to happen?
Well, it's just sometimes, in the NBA, you play so many games and it's early, so you have a lot of games like that. Sometimes you have them early in the year, middle of the year, and at the end of the year. What we want to try to do is establish ourselves early. And we came out tonight and we started playing some pretty good basketball. We built like an 8-point lead, but then it seemed like every time we got some type of lead, we just let them back into the game. And that's something that we got to concentrate on that when we got people down, is have the killer instinct to knock them right on out.
Speaking of starting early, when you first started with the Knicks, you were almost timid in terms of shot taking. When this game got started tonight, you could tell that you wanted to be part of the offense and you wanted to be part of it in a hurry.
Well, Pat keep telling me to shoot the basketball, do what I do best. A lot of nights I come out, I'm looking to pass, and sometimes I hesitate. I think, when I first came, I think I was just trying to fit in, not trying to do too much. Just trying to play, but not. I wasn't really playing my game. Just coming in, just trying to basically fit in and not do too much or try to take over the offense. And Pat told me, hey, forget about everything. We got you here for 2 things: rebounding and scoring and defense. And he said, that's what I want you to do. Since that night, and we played the Nets in Albany, I think it was. And after that, Utah and all the preseason games after that, I've been trying to be very offensive-minded.
All right, Xavier, thank you very much, and congratulations on a good game tonight.
All right, thanks.
All right, that's Xavier McDaniel, part of the winning Knick effort tonight by only 2 points over these New Jersey Nets. Pat Riley meets the media now.
It's one of those crazy NBA games, and we'll move on now to this road trip. The W.
Did you see any signs why the offense really just kind of shut down?
Just bogged down. I was mentioning this to Dick. I says, Dick Carter, I said, why do we not play with much force at the end? And he said, a lot of teams don't play with force unless you have some rings on your finger, okay? Now, maybe I'm beginning to understand that, but there was some tentativeness at the end. And that's something we just have to work out, Paul. We just got to keep working at it. And the other night against Charlotte, we had a lot more force, outscoring them 10-1, but our offense just bogged down.
Now, what was your impression of Kenny Anderson?
Well, I think he's, I think he has showed some obvious talent. It's hard to say from one game, but I think he can be a real great offensive player. He reminds me a lot of Tiny Archibald. If you remember Tiny from years ago, same kind of player, takes it to the basket, and but you got to reserve the right to give him some time.
Excuse me, Coach Riley. German television, we're doing a story on Magic Johnson. What kind of effect do you think that his admission of having the AIDS virus will have on public awareness of AIDS in the U.S.?
You're over here, right? I think it's had a lot of awareness, worldwide. So I think that's the biggest statement that Irvin made, was that people are very, very aware. We're going to all take it from there. Any questions about the game?
Pat, you broke the pattern in the fourth quarter with Jackson coming in tonight near the end for Greg. What were you thinking of on that move?
Offensively, we were struggling, and at that time, Mark, I thought Mark had a strong game from a playmaking standpoint. He had 7 assists in the first half, and our offense is directed at 2 or 3 guys, and they were taking us out of our initial first and second option, and I wanted somebody that could get into the lane. But and that's more of a feel, John, than anything else.
What about tomorrow's game with Indiana starting out the road?
Well, boy, I tell you, they run. We're catching them coming off a long road trip, so they played last night, and maybe there's some lag, I hope, but we get in there tonight, and we have to be ready for a team that's the best running team in the league. At least that's what our scouting report said.
How do you think you establish something when these 4 wins here at home after nothing?
Well, they got to feel good about it. I think they do. I think they have to feel good about making some progress, winning, regardless if it's sort of a sluggish win or a Picasso. Doesn't make any difference. But now we go out for 5, and I think this is going to be a real good test for us. See where we are.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay? Thank you, everybody. See you in 8 months.
I hope it's one of these 11 days, huh?
All the questions hopefully fit to ask in the coach's press conference, brought to you by the New York Times. We'll continue on the post-game report now by talking a little bit more about Xavier McDaniel. He shot 21 times, made 12. Ewing also shot 20, made 10. Combined, they had 52 points tonight. The Knicks also had 3 players in double digits in rebounds. McDaniel had 10, Oakley 10, Ewing 11. We'd like to thank Xavier McDaniel for being part of our post-game report. He receives a Be My Guest restaurant certificate from American Express. Honor at restaurants in the U.S. and Canada accepting the American Express card. Be My Guest, the perfect wedding anniversary or thank you gift. To order with the card, call 1-800-535-GIFT. Membership has its privileges. Kenny Anderson made a mark tonight. His Madison Square Garden debut saw him score 15 points. He missed a chance to bring the game even, however, with an important free throw miss later. Don't miss the grand up next at a 10:30 start. Sports Forum with my guest Will Chamberlain. After that, at 11, Bob Page is at the sports desk. Back here courtside at Madison Square Garden, the New York Knicks survive over the New Jersey Nets by the final score of 98-96. Marv Albert and John Andres are ready to talk about it.
All right, Al, interesting to observe Pat Riley at the news conference point out that the Knicks don't seem to have the force down the stretch, and of course 0 for 11, and we were talking about the fact, and that may have been a contributing factor, that the Knicks were not taking good shots for a good portion of that second half.
Yes, they lost their total flow out there, but Pat in his analytical way, of course, has to like the fact that the W was at the end of the game for the Knicks, and that's what he is most concerned about. There's just no question they didn't have it really at the end, Marv, but enough.
Yeah, let me fix that for you. How's that? Oh, I'm sorry, just trying to help.
A real team player.
Just trying to help you.
Thank you very much. But they struggled to a win. That's really the name of the game. And also the fans here in New York got a big taste of Kenny Anderson, and a mighty fine one it was too. And I mentioned the date December 17th when he and the Nets will return. I'm sure by that time he'll really be in the flow of things, and the Knicks will even see a tougher opponent. But all in all, a win for the Knicks and a very nice way to start a road trip.
Good comparison also made by Pat Riley. He likened the style of Kenny Anderson to Nate Tiny Archibald. There are some shades of that in his game.
No question about it. I think that Anderson at this stage has a better outside shot than Tiny did. Tiny developed it as years went on. Also, we're talking about a Hall of Famer, so if you can say, well, he's kind of reminds me of a Hall of Famer, that's not too bad because Tiny Archibald became one of the game's greatest players, and it looks like Kenny Anderson might be on that